Hello everybody, it's Siobhan here, the galloping housewife on my yard commute out to see the ponies. I didn't go out yesterday. It was a marvellous day, but I went out on Sunday and I didn't record, and I said that might happen because my husband actually came out with me and just helped me out a little bit and took some photos and some video, which was it was good. It's really good. Actually, where I am at the moment, well, I haven't had a lesson in a very, very long time, and I do like to have some sort of feedback as to how I'm going. You know, what is whether what I'm feeling is what I'm presenting, and I also. And where I'm at also doesn't have mirrors, and I haven't been in a yard without mirrors for a very long time, and it is and that instant feedback is just so incredibly valuable, I will be, when I eventually get around to having our own place and putting facilities on it, the mirrors will definitely be right up there. Just that sort of keeping an eye on yourself, and it's just little things like just seeing where the frame is. It's just leg positioning. It's the horse's positioning. You can feel that it's straight, but you can see. When you're looking at something, you can see a lot more quickly where the problems are, and actually really interesting. Not so much on I just popped Percy over a few little fences, so I was just more concerned that with speed, whether what I feel is fast or not, and because I haven't jumped in a long time. But with Mitch, it was really interesting to see. He's not a very forward horse, and he's got an incredibly sort of uphill way of going. He's quite short coupled, and he really steps in underneath himself, and so the tendency, but the problem is he's also really green, and therefore doesn't have the strength that a normal 6-year-old would have to carry himself. So the tendency is to push him a little bit quick, and in the canton it's better. He's got such a huge canter that if you tried to get him to carry himself a bit more, and to shorten that stride at all, at the moment you would end up with him, because he's so uphill, he would have that tendency to hover and climb, and actually slow down the hind leg, rather than what we're trying to do is quicken that up, and eventually he will get the strength. In a smaller stepping horse, it's not quite so important, and you can get some, because you'll be wanting to. So with Percy, I want to balance him more uphill, so I do bring him back on his hocks and then quicken the hind leg. With Mitch, it's just a matter of sending him forward and sending him forward and sending him forward until he gets that sort of the strength to be able to carry himself. But in the trot, he feels like he's a bit backwards. He doesn't have a natural forward tendency or way of going. So I have on video, it was quite obvious that I'm sending him a little bit quick in the trot. For him to develop the carrying ability, he's going to need to slow down a little bit in the trot from now, and also he's a bit nappy, and I think that I am using the outside rein to turn him, like to keep him straight through that shoulder and just stop him falling out, and I'm not using it as much as I thought I was, so I need to work on that. So that's really good information for me to have. Yeah, so we're just watching the little bits of videos and took some photos and shared them on Facebook, which is always nice. Yeah, it's nice to have those sort of those moments to share out there in the real world. Yeah, so that's what I did on Sunday. So we're out Sunday most of the day, and had my cousins around for dinner in the evening, which was really nice. I haven't caught up with them for a while. And yeah, and it's just it's a bit of a no man's land at the moment. There's not a lot on. We're not going anywhere or doing anything. We don't have any sort of trips or breaks planned. I haven't actually organised to go to any events yet, and so it's kind of like I've got this blank slate in front of me a bit, and I do have to work, so I've got a lot on, and it's not that I don't think I've overextended myself, but I do have that thing in my I do have that fact that I am there is a lot that I'm having to create at the moment, and I need to be able to do that, but equally I need to be able to have something to look forward to, a break away, or a just an event, something to go to have there on the outset, and also we've had a pretty successful time. I've launched a couple of courses which have gone well, getting great feedback and all those sorts of things. Really, and I've talked before about being uncomfortable with putting myself out there in the real world, and so I am getting past that, which is something that I need to celebrate, and so those are kind of the things that I've got in my head that I need to be doing a little bit more of. There you go, you're going to pull on there, that's great. So yeah, and it's one of the things that I actually espouse in my courses is the need to celebrate achievements, and to acknowledge them, and to always have something to be looking forward to. Whereas actually the only things that we've got to look forward to at the moment, we've been invited to a festival and at some friends' places and a wedding, and it happens to be the same weekend, and they're both in Wiltshire, which is really good, because I wouldn't be able to, would have to miss one of them to go to the other if that wasn't the case. So we're going to combine it, which means that we'll be leaving this festival to go off to a wedding, just to the wedding reception. So it's kind of after dance party. So but yeah, that'll be grand. We'll be doing that. But that's away in July. So yeah, I'm really gonna have to organise something before then. So I think it's kind of nothing really enlightening to say today, but it's just that kind of like acknowledgement that it's really easy. And I said this actually to one of my groups, the Sort Your Shit Out team last weekend, about the weekends. It's really easy for us to work through the weekends when we've got, especially if we work with horses or you work for yourselves, to just keep going, and to just not have time off, to actually not step away, and just to keep quietly chugging along. And I think that it is really important that we do have those times when we can step back and just have quiet times. And the other thing is that, and also the celebration thing, that just how important it is to actually cement that for ourselves, is to acknowledge ourselves. And actually one of my things is that and I know this is a little bit of a weakness, is that I find it really hard when the things that I do well aren't acknowledged by other people, whether it be family or friends or work colleagues. And it's the same a little bit the same psychology as people that need to have likes on social media. And actually, really interestingly, I had a couple of posts, a couple of tweets go viral, which is just not it's not where I'm trying to build an audience at all. So and even the stuff that goes viral on Facebook, or not goes viral but gets a lot of interest and interaction on Facebook, it's like, I don't have that need and that desire, that pull in to do that, as long as I'm more concerned that my message is sort of resonating with people and that people are getting something out of it. But certainly the Twitter thing was fascinating, because it was just, there were tweets that in the scheme of things mean nothing. But I found myself like looking at that, and I had people messaging me going, "Oh, isn't that cool? Your tweet's gone viral." And I was like, I was like, "Oh yeah, it is." And I was like, it's so not. But then I, and you get all this sort of attention, and I am, social media is not such a big draw for me in that regard, whereas in person it really is. I like to be acknowledged and told that I'm doing a good job, and just acknowledged for achievements, and I do get a bit pissy when people don't appreciate what I do, appreciate my hard work, appreciate my genius. It's kind of like, so there you go. But it's really important, especially if you're that kind of person, but it's really important that you acknowledge yourself, because no one else and no other fucker out there is going to, and you are worth acknowledging. You do something well. It's really important to have a cheerleader around you, have a cheer squad. I've got my husband, I will say, "Oh, I sold another course," or whatever, and he's really pleased for me, because he knows how much work that I've put into the stuff that I'm putting out there. And so I mean, not just work, but just like the actual emotion that I put behind those things. So it's nice to have them appreciated. So but if you don't have a husband like mine, if you don't have someone, well, actually don't need to find yourself a new husband unless you really want to, but find yourself a friend, find yourself a business bestie, someone that will be on your side, or horse riding bestie, if you want to go, "Oh shit, I got that line of flying changes," or I jumped through the coffin clear. You've got to have that someone that you can just like send a message to, go because it's really, really, it is important to have someone else out there. But also celebrate yourself. Take yourself out for dinner, go to the movies, drink a bottle of champagne, whatever it is that that is your version of celebrating, do it. Right, on that note, buy yourself a new set of matching. Right, anyway, have now rambled on. I wasn't going to, but I have, so there you go. I will maybe catch you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.